Okay, it looks like we have some minutes to approve. We have the minutes for November 6th. What's that? Oh, roll call, I'm sorry. Roll calls first. So we have Heidi West is here, John DeBari's here, Emily Bentley's here, Jordan Hess is here, Brian is here, and Marilyn's here. I'm here. Michelle's here, Annalise is here, and Gwen's here. So absent are Julie and who? Oh, Missa, yeah. Is that her coming down there? Yes. So Missa is on her way into the council chambers. Okay, now we have the minutes to approve. We have minutes for November 6th, 2017. Any changes to those minutes? We also have November 13th, 2017. Any changes to those minutes? Seeing none, those minutes are approved. Then we're going to go to the schedule of committee meetings, and I believe we have no committee meetings. John.
So I just wanted to make an announcement because at our last meeting, we had mentioned that we were going to take up the Rosars meeting on November the 29th at 1 p.m. And that's a time and day that doesn't actually work for the applicants. So I just wanted to make a public announcement that that will actually be scheduled for another time, which has yet to be determined.
Okay, thank you, John. So anything else on committee meetings? Seeing none, we'll go on. So we now have public comment. Anybody with public comment that's not on our agenda, come on up to the, and 3 minutes.
My name is Kathy Desha. I live on South Hill in Ward 5. Good evening, City Council members. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Councilman John Wilkins for his numerous years of service to the City Council. I found he was always willing to listen to his constituents and neighborhood council volunteers, and I wish him all the best and good times with his grandkids. While I was out campaigning for City Council, numerous concerns were brought to my attention. In Ward 5, there are 2 elementary schools in particular that have ambiguous signage for drivers. With distracted driving on the rise and hearing of vehicles failing to yield for children trying to cross for school, I decided to conduct an unofficial poll on Facebook. Anyone could vote. So, and as we know, it's kind of hard to get people to vote sometimes, but so out of the 66 people who did vote, they all were in favor of adding some descriptive signage or flashing yellow crossing lights to the crossing at 39th and South Reserve Street, along with adding signs alerting drivers that says it's actually a school zone. So currently, this is the signage that is on 39th Street, South Reserve, and there's nothing to indicate that you're actually kind of entering an area where there's a school nearby. It is off the street, but these signs are actually used in other areas, so they don't differentiate. You see people with school books, but then they're also at different crosswalks. So some of the drivers, some of the older drivers, I'll say, are a little confused as to which sign goes for which because there's no standardization. Mainly the people that I talk to would be really in favor of having a sign below this that says school zone, so everyone kind of know to look out, there's school children nearby. It's the same thing on Briggs Street where the Cold Springs School is at. We know that'll be moving, but for the time being, if we used to have those signs that said school zone, I don't know what happened to them all. If we could find some, perhaps, and even just put them up temporarily until Cold Springs moves, that would be great. I also want to thank Councilman Mr. DeBari for suggesting that 38th Street be completed during the first phase of the Cowboy Flats subdivision. You can drive through Upper Linda Vista right now and see numerous new streets with curbing and for the future housing that's going to be going in there. and they don't stop and start on a possibility that the economy might take a downward turn. And the reason why I brought up the sidewalk concern on the existing piece of 38th Street was at the request of homeowners there who were seeing construction on a lot where new sidewalk and curbing was going in, and they were concerned that they would be forced to add sidewalk and curbing. And you can see from the photo how much of the front yard it actually does take. So after talking with Councilman DeBari, he felt that they would not be forced to go with new sidewalk and curbing in place. So anyway, I just wanted to let you all know that's why I brought that up, and I appreciate Mr. DeBari and Ms. Bentley looking into that. They just wanted their concerns addressed, and so I brought that. Anyway, that kind of concludes things. I hope you all have a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you too. Any more public comment? Seeing no more public comment, we'll keep going on. And next we have our consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda were approved in City Council Committee by unanimous vote. We save time at council meetings by voting on these items as a package. The city clerk will read the list aloud, so citizens watching on MCAT will know what is on the consent agenda. We'll invite community comment on these items before we vote. So Marty?
Well, it's a super short one. There's one item on tonight's consent agenda, and that is to approve claims in the amount of $1,786.09 for checks that are dated tomorrow, November 21st, 2017.
Any public comment on our consent agenda? Any committee comment? Seeing none, we'll have a vote. I vote.
On the
Roll call vote.
on the consent agenda, Becerra? Mirta? On the consent agenda, Mirta Becerra votes yes. Bentley? Bentley votes yes. Cares? Cares votes yes. DeBari? DeBari votes yes. Heddle? Heddle votes yes. Hess? Hess votes yes. Jones? Jones votes yes. Marler? Marler votes yes. Von Lossberg? Von Lossberg votes yes. West? West votes yes. And Wilkins? Wilkins votes yes. Would any of you like to change your vote? Mine is 11 ayes and 1 absent.
So now we'll have comments from city staff, agency, boards, commissions, authorities, and the community forum. And I believe we have Ray Ayton here from the community forum.
Okay, so for the community forum, it's Ray Ayton, 208 Ben Hogan Drive, member of the Farviews Patty Canyon Neighborhood Council. So we had our community forum most recent meeting on November 16th. It was a pretty packed meeting, but I think one of the reasons it was packed is of our 20 neighborhood councils, 18 of them were actually there being represented. It was impressive. I was glad to see it. 2 presentations, you've probably already seen both of them. One was about the Design Excellence Project that's ongoing. The other was about the dementia and age-friendly community, which I thought was a great one and has, I think, maybe prompted some people in various neighborhoods to think about things that they might consider asking that group to come and speak to. Then the big one for the night was that we did our vote on the neighborhood project funds. So this year there were 12 applications for the neighborhood project funds. These are the large grants, the $3,000 grants. We were able to hone that down to 6 that we recommended for approval. The community forum approved that for a total of $17,676. That will be coming to, I think it's A&E committee next, so you'll be seeing that. Other things were mostly informational. On VIA, the Office of Neighborhoods volunteer awards program is now is up so that people can submit their recommendations to that. And, oh, I forgot to bring it up. I'll start to you in a second here. Karen Gus Sparta in the office. We've been working on trying to get a promotional brochure out. This is what it's turned out to be. It's 11 by 17. It's really got all the information in it. We've been distributing it, or will be distributing it now at the various tabling events that we do, like Stories and Stones was the most recent one. So now down to sort of the thing that I always find most interesting about those meetings, and thanks to Michelle for encouraging me to talk about them and other representatives. So things that we're hearing from the neighborhoods, I mean, the urban deer priority continues to be there. There's a lot of concerns. I think you all are aware of that. Reserve Street and I-90, still concerns out there from Grant Creek Group. Down in John's area, Lewis and Clark painting the crosswalks is one of their major concerns, as well as a lot of speeding that's going on Bancroft. I assume that it's probably in the early morning and when school gets out in the afternoon, but I don't know that for sure. In Riverfront, they're looking for more understanding about the brownfield activity that's going on down there. Lower Rattlesnake, they too have a lot of interested bears in their trash cans, so they're hoping that maybe they can get their pickup times changed too. And then the last thing, which has already been alluded to tonight, we had to say goodbye to John. He's been your delegate to us for a good many years and muchly appreciated, and we gave him a standing ovation before we adjourned. And thank you all. All right, any questions?
Thank you, Ray. Any questions? Seeing none, so now we're communication from the mayor, and the mayor's not here. Marilyn, you want to say anything on that? Okay.
There,
Go ahead.
there's a special presentation that's a proclamation about Small Business Saturday.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. So I don't have do you have the document in front of you? Or? So we do have a special presentation. It's on Small Business Saturday. Ta-da, and we got it right here, the proclamation. Whereas small business from the backbone of our local economy generates jobs and improving the quality of life for citizens. And whereas the city of Missoula, Montana supports the official local small business and recognizes the critical role they play in our community. And whereas Small Business Saturday is a nationwide campaign to cultivate business for small merchants on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And Small Business Saturday will stimulate grow locally for small merchants by following in the tradition of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, two of the busiest shopping days of the year. And whereas we encourage citizens to consider shopping at small businesses, at small merchants on Small Business Saturday on a way to boost the local economy and strengthen our small business community. And the mayor's not here, but now whereas John Engen, Mayor of the City of Missoula and the State of Montana, do hereby proclaim November 25th, 2017 in Missoula, Montana as Small Business Saturday, and encourage our residents to recognize and support small business within our community by shopping these establishments on Saturday following Thanksgiving. In witness, I have hereunto set my hand and called the Great Seal of the City of Missoula and the State of Montana to be affixed at Missoula, Montana this 20th day of November in the year 2017. So there's a proclamation. Thank you. So now we have communications from the mayor. He's not here. We'll have general comments of city council. We'll start with Gwen.
I just wanted to draw some attention to an article in the Missoulian, in yesterday's Missoulian, the Sunday paper, on property values, which was on the front page. And I think it was a really clear explanation of what is going on with our property tax. So I would encourage people in the city of Missoula who are trying to understand why their property tax is going up to read this article. I know that I certainly get a lot of messages and emails from constituents regarding their property taxes. It's a difficult subject, but this was a big reappraisal year. If you read the article, it talks about how we've had 6-year cycles. Now we've gone to 2-year cycles on reappraisals, and also the timing of the reappraisals with the 2008 recession. All of this, it's complicated, but bottom line is it caused a big increase in our property taxes. And Missoula, Kalispell, Bozeman, and Whitefish are the cities seeing the most rapid rise in property values. So these are the cities that are seeing a rapid rise in property taxes. So it's a big topic of discussion. It's complicated, but I think this Missoulian article did a great job explaining a complicated subject in a very understandable way. So I would encourage people to read it.
Annalise. I would like to say thank you to all my supporters out there. Thank you to the neighborhood council. I think I've been on that for, 20 years or more. This might be my last night because I'm going in for surgery. I'll find out next Monday, actually, when that'll be. So I might be here next Monday night, but I'm not sure. And I really appreciate all the support I've gotten, so thank you. Marilyn. Brian.
Thanks. Nice to see you chairing, John. So just want to wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And Ray, thanks. Saw that you were still around. Just wanted to mention, I've been in communication with the Upper and Lower Rattlesnake group on having some point people to meet with the general manager at Republic Services about the bear pickup. So thanks for bringing that up, and we'll work that.
So since I get to talk anytime I want, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that Brian is now the official deer man. Jordan, go ahead. Emily. John.
I just wanted, thanks for the comments that Ms. Deshaw made, and I just wanted to let you know that we're still tracking down with traffic services the issue you brought up about turn signals. So we're working on it, so thanks.
Heidi? Nope. Okay, so we now are going to committee reports. We only have one committee report, and that'll be with the Public Safety and Health report about authorized purchase of an ambulance. So, Chief, you want to get up and give us your spiel again, but shorten it up, would you please?
Yeah, sorry. Good evening again. My name's Jason Deal. I'm your fire chief. I'm here seeking your authorization to purchase a 2018 Type 1 Medics Metro Express ambulance from Sawtooth Emergency Vehicles of Billings, Montana, in the amount of $173,000. Just a couple things. This purchase is entirely funded by fire impact fees that have already been collected. The total project cost is $250,000. This ambulance, the 173, includes some of the medical equipment that we're going to have to purchase anyway, but it leaves us over $75,000 to finish equipping the ambulance. And it's all 100% funded through the fire impact fees.
Thank you. Any questions by the public on getting a new ambulance? Seeing none, any committee questions? Marilyn?
I think we need a motion on the floor.
We need a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move that we authorize the City of Missoula Fire Department to purchase a 2018 Type 1 Medics Metro Express 153 Ford 450 ambulance from Sawtooth Emergency Vehicles of Billings, Montana in the amount of $173,000.
Okay, now we have a motion on the floor. Is there any public comment on the motion? Is there any committee discussion on the motion? Michelle?
Chief, could you repeat yourself from 6:30 about the reasons you would deploy this and some of the situations on the ground that have made you reach this decision?
Yes. I'm not here to bash the private ambulance service, Missoula Emergency Services. They have overall been meeting the response time standards that are outlined in their performance contract, but the justification for this is acute instances of excessive delay in ambulance transport where our firefighters are on scene for 10, 20, 30 minutes or more before an ambulance can arrive to perform the transport. There have also been instances, and more so in recent months, of where there was no ambulance available to respond at all. About a month and a half ago, we did transport a patient in the fire engine to a community hospital. Another occasion, we had to arrange for a private vehicle to transport a patient to St. Pat's. There's also been other instances where we've been notified that there's no ambulances available to respond. And this is a direct result, I believe, in our Missoula Emergency Services has a very large response area, and they're being relied upon more and more to provide ambulance transport to rural areas that may, through a loss of volunteerism, their local ambulance providers are not as resilient or not in existence anymore. So I think they're being counted upon to provide service to a greater area than in the past. And you couple that with our increasing call volumes that they're experiencing, we're experiencing. It's just the trajectory, the way it's going. I felt this was in our best interest of our community to have this capability for the fire department.
Hold it.
Could you just talk about when you would deploy?
Yes. So I'll steal Brian's words. One's going to be reactive, and the other one's going to be, what was the other one? Proactive. Yeah. So if we anticipate heavy call volume, periods of heavy call volume, for instance, if we have a home Cat Grizz game or some event in town where we can pretty fairly predict that we're going to have high call volumes that night or that day, we can deploy it just to respond to EMS calls. Doesn't mean it will transport. It'll only transport if necessary. And also in instances where we're actually experiencing unpredicted high-level volume of calls, we could deploy it rapidly for that. We can do it just in a pinch during the day. It's fairly easy because we have day staff, additional staffing. As I explained earlier, I still need to put some thought into where actually the best station to deploy this would be and how we would do it rapidly after hours if it needed, just for a transport. And like I said, I could hop in and get it to the scene because our firefighters are already on the scene, and they would take care of the patient, and all we need to do is get them to the hospital. And currently we have no capability to transport other than in a fire engine, which is not acceptable in my opinion. So.
Okay, Brian, did you have something?
Yeah, just briefly, I just wanted to say I'm really grateful for you bringing this test, Chief, and for going through the steps to do so. There's two things that can be true simultaneously. One is that the Messi can be meeting the terms of their performance contract, and while meeting those terms, it can leave a gap in the quality and timing of care that's essential to the community. So I really appreciate the detail during the committee meeting of how this service would complement the private service that exists, and because that gap can exist while they meet the terms of their agreement, to me this is a no-brainer. It's a must-do for the welfare of the community, so I'm supportive.
Any other questions from the committee? What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so used to committee meetings from the council. Thank you, Jim. All right, seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Oh, it's got to be see, I'm still used to committee work. Marty?
I think it's a contract, so we have to have a roll call vote. So we start this round with Bentley. Bentley votes yes. Cares. Cares votes yes. Dabari. Dabari votes yes. Hedal. Hedal votes yes. Hess. Hess votes yes. Jones. Jones votes yes. Marler. Marler votes yes. Von Lossberg. Von Lossberg votes yes. West. West votes yes. Wilkins. Wilkins votes yes. And Becerra. Becerra votes yes. Would any of you like to change your vote? That is 11 ayes and 1 absent.
Okay, that passes.
New business.
So we got new business. Under new business, we got an ordinance prohibiting parking in bike lanes and transit stops. And I think Jordan Hess is
Thank you,
on board
Mr.
for that.
Wilkins. So this is a two-part deal. The first is a motion to reconsider the ordinance, and then the second is a motion, if that's successful, is a motion to readopt it. So if I may, I'll just give a brief introduction, and then I'll make the motion to reconsider. The ordinance that we passed on November 6th contained what I guess you could call a clerical error or an oversight that gave a distance around a transit stop that would wherein parking would be prohibited. In the time since the ordinance was passed, of course, it hasn't come into effect yet because it hasn't. The 30-day timeline effective date has not been reached yet. A couple of use cases, very select use cases around the community, were pointed out by the Missoula Parking Commission, where more parking would be needed to be taken out in order to implement the ordinance than would actually be required to have a transit stop. The proposal tonight is just to reword that a little bit to make it a little bit more workable for the Parking Commission and for Mountain Line. So with that, I'll make a motion to reconsider an ordinance of the Missoula City Council amending Missoula Municipal Code Title 10, Chapter 10.22, Section 10.22070, titled Parking Prohibited in Specified Places, in order to prohibit parking in a bicycle lane or bicycle path designated for exclusive use of bicycles or within 40 feet of a transit stop.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, and it'll take 2/3 of the council members to pass this. Is there any public comment on this motion? Seeing none, any committee comment? Or council comment? Marilyn?
Oh, I have a question. Did I miss my opportunity for that? Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
It sounded like you made the motion that was the first paragraph here about exclusive use of bicycles within 40 feet of a transit stop. Unless I was not listening correctly, did you make the second part, which was in fact the recommended motion?
No,
to remove language?
The first part is to open it up for consideration, because until we reconsider it, we can't go back and do that.
Okay. I thought that you were making a motion for the thing that was wrong, and I was I'm just really confused. Sorry. Thank you for clarifying the motion.
So to clarify it, we're only considering the first motion right now.
Great.
Reconsidering. Any other comments from council? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Oh, I'm sorry. Marty?
Okay, 2/3 vote required. Let's see here. We start this round with Cares. Cares votes yes. Dabari.
Dabari votes yes. Hedal. Hedal votes yes. Hess.
Yes.
Hess votes yes. Jones. Jones votes yes. Marlar. Marlar votes yes. Von Lossberg. Von Lossberg votes yes. West. West votes yes. Wilkins. Wilkins votes yes. Becerra. Becerra votes yes. And Bentley. Bentley votes yes. Would anybody like to change your vote? Oh, it's 11 ayes and 1 absent.
So Jordan, the second part.
Okay, so now I move that we adopt an amendment to Ordinance 3601 pertaining to public transit stops, Missoula Municipal Code 10.22.070A15, to remove language relating to the distance from a transit stop and the exception for transit pullouts. And if I may speak to it?
Certainly.
So as I mentioned in my previous comments, this is really just so that there's no more space than required in order to serve different types of transit stops. There are near side transit stops that are before the intersection and far side stops that are after the intersection and mid-block stops, and this will allow Mountain Line and the Parking Commission to more effectively implement this approach. And of course, Mountain Line will properly paint and sign any parking prohibitions that would be caused by this ordinance.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion on the motion by the public? Public comment?
That's a good question, John.
You need to come up to the microphone. And we generally don't answer questions. You can give us a comment, though.
Okay, I just had a quick question. So going back to what you were talking about on 39th Street, where the bike lanes are and people were parking on 39th. So is the city going to paint all the curbage yellow where cars can no longer park in bike lanes, just so that people from out of town know not to park there? That was my question. Thank you.
I don't know how to answer that, so that would be a lot of paint. Okay. Do it. Yeah, I'll refer that to the mayor's office and see what he has to say about that. Okay, so see no further comment. Oh, Brian?
I just wanted to thank Jordan for diving into the details of this and getting the involved parties together to ferret out both the issue as well as the solution to it. So thanks for that detailed work.
Heidi?
So I wanted to respond to the question just based on what I remember from committee meetings because it came up. Is that okay? So I think what was said during committee meetings is that most of our bike lanes are plowed pretty quickly and that those stripings would be visible. The ones on the road would be visible to folks even when there's snow on the ground because of the rotation of the plow schedule.
Michelle?
Jordan, I was wondering if during the looking at this again, if any other potential problems came up that you decided not to address.
No, this really was the only one, and like I said, there were only a couple of identified locations, but it just seemed prudent to address it. The area in concern, if done properly as rewritten, Mountain Line could stop in front of El Cazador in front of the Wilma essentially without removing any parking, and they could serve that area very well. If the ordinance was written or was implemented as written, there would be a loss of something like 3 parking spaces, and it was completely unnecessary. This was just to bring it in line with Mountain Line's bus stop master plan, which has some standard engineering drawings for how different bus stops ought to be implemented, and really the dimensions in the bus stop master plan are much more fine grain, I guess, than this kind of one-size-fits-all measurement that we had in the first draft.
I have one thing that's probably really don't pertain to the ordinance too much, but I have a really bad problem with the bus stop in front of the Montana Club on Brook Street that is done right in the driver's lane. There should be something notifying people about that, because I think it's very unsafe, but I mean, that's something else you should deal with later on. Okay, any more questions? Seeing none, Marty?
Okay, on the amendment to ordinance 3601, we start this round with DeBari. DeBari votes yes. Heddle. Heddle votes yes. Hess. Hess votes yes. Jones. Jones votes yes. Marlar. Marlar votes yes. Von Lossberg. Von Lossberg votes yes. West. West votes yes. Wilkins. Wilkins votes yes. Becerra. Becerra votes yes. Bentley. Bentley votes yes. And Cares. Cares votes yes. That's 11 ayes and 1 absent.
All right, thank you. So are there any items to be referred? And any miscellaneous communication, petition, reports, or announcements? Seeing none, thank you for all coming. We're adjourned.